The silence in the room didn't just fall. It slammed shut like a vault door. It was the kind of quiet that makes your ears ring, the sound of 12 billionaire board members simultaneously forgetting how to breathe. Marcus Sterling, the CEO who prided himself on owning every room he entered, let his gold fountain pen slip from his fingers. It clattered against the mahogany table, the sound echoing like a gunshot in the sterile, glass-walled heights of the Varel Tower. Every executive head turned toward the head of the table, and Marcus felt the first cold drop of sweat slide down his spine. He finally understood why his security detail was standing perfectly still, their hands visible and empty. If you enjoy stories of power, secret identities, and the ultimate twist, leave a like and subscribe. Now let's begin.
Amara Varel was standing at the head of the table. Amara, the broke junior analyst who had spent the last 8 months fetching Marcus's double-shot espressos. The girl who rode the 6 a.m. subway in scuffed loafers and carried her life in a freight canvas bag because Marcus refused to approve her parking pass. That Amara was now leaning over the table, her hands planted firmly on a leather-bound acquisition folder. She wasn't in a canvas bag today. She was wearing an ivory silk suit that looked like it had been carved out of moonlight, structured, architectural, and costing more than Marcus's first 3 houses. Around her neck, a diamond serpent coiled, its eyes catching the morning light in a way that felt less like jewelry and more like a warning. To the world, Amara was a nobody. But her history was written in blood and gold. She was the secret daughter of a West African business dynasty, a family whose wealth was so vast it remained unlisted in any public record. Her father had made a pact with the Korean underworld decades ago, and Amara was the bridge between those two worlds. She had been sent abroad not just to learn business, but to prove she could lead without the crutch of her family's terrifying name. For 8 months, she had lived in a cramped studio, masking her fluency in Korean and her mastery of global markets, all to see if a woman like her could survive the corporate jungle on merit alone. But Marcus Sterling saw none of that. To him, she was just an eyesore. The fluorescent lights of Varel Global hummed as the clock bled past 9 p.m. Amara sat at her cramped desk, far from the windows, processing the data the real players used to win. Her desk phone buzzed an encrypted line. She picked up, her voice dropping into the elegant, rolling cadence of high society Korean. "Everything is moving according to schedule," she murmured to Kang Jae-hyun, the head of a dominant syndicate. Marcus thinks poverty is a lack of character. He hasn't noticed that the lion is already in the room. The next morning, the lobby was a cathedral of glass and ego. Marcus Sterling stood by the security desk, his face a mask of cold fury. "Stop right there," he boomed. "This company is built on prestige. And yet, every morning, I see you dragging this broke aesthetic through my lobby. You look like a charity case. You're a blemish on the Varel brand. Consider your employment terminated." He leaned in, dropping his voice to a vicious whisper. "Go back to whatever hole you crawled out of. You were never one of us, and you never will be." Amara didn't flinch. "Is that all, Mr. Sterling?" she asked. As she walked away, clutching a cardboard box, the junior executives laughed, mocking her scuffed shoes and predicting she'd be homeless by Monday. They had no idea that as Amara stepped into a waiting black sedan, she looked at the man in the shadows and said 2 words that would end Marcus's career: "It's time."